A reminder of your top stories. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Sigalala confirms the death toll from the recent flooding in the province has now risen to 459. A case of culpable homicide is being investigated in connection with a bus crash this morning on the N3 in which 10 people tragically died. After long delays over credentials, ANC members in Ekurhuleni are finally voting for new leaders. Let's stay with that story. Well, nominations for the top 5 are done now, and ANC branches in Ekurhuleni are hoping to choose new leadership today. Let's get the latest from that regional conference with eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge. Sipha, I must say it's taken a couple of days for us to actually reach this point where the conference officially takes off. Any word on what's caused the delays, and maybe just take us through how there were some members from this region that were not happy and were trying to stop the conference from taking place?
Usually there is only one thing that causes the delays when it comes to ANC regional and provincial conferences, is the issue of the credentials. They spend hours debating the credentials. Our viewers by now are familiar with the term, the credentials. Simply put, it's a register, an attendance register. Who's here? Does he or she qualify to vote? Is he or she an eligible member of the ANC, a member in good standing? Something as simple as marking a register that there are so many voting delegates here, non-voting delegates, male, female, from which branches, zones, and all of that basically is just a compiled register that has to be adopted by the conference. Once that is adopted, that they can proceed and vote. So what has caused the delays for this 8th Ekurhuleni regional conference is the issue of the credentials. Some unhappy members were alleging that there was a manipulation of processes leading up to this conference. They were alleging that some branches were closed out. They were not given an opportunity and a platform to participate here. They had launched their disputes with the will deliver his financial report. His name is Dr. Xhakaza. He is the former regional treasurer of the ANC in Ekurhuleni. He is challenging Mzwandile Masina for the position of the regional chairperson. And there are too many agenda items that have not been concluded, including the issue of that report by the former regional treasurer about the state and the finances of the ANC in Ekurhuleni region. As you can see him there, he is busy preparing to deliver his report to this conference. That will be a closed session, but it highlights how this conference has been delayed. That report has not been presented. The conference was supposed to have been closed today, but I can tell you that despite voting for the top officials being concluded, the likelihood is that the results will be announced very late tonight, if at all they will be announced, or early tomorrow morning. It's going to be a very long wait again now that the conference has just decided to take a break. And once they've announced the results, or rather once they are done with the process of voting for the top officials, remember they still need to nominate and vote for additional regional executive committee members. I think that's the structure that consists of about 15 members on top of these 5 top officials of the ANC in the region. That process alone will take hours too. So probably this conference will go all the way till tomorrow morning, something that the provincial chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, David Makura, had warned about, saying it needs to wrap up today. But most importantly and most disappointingly is that they have not done, or they have not dealt with the issue of commissions. They have not discussed policy issues. This conference has only been seized with credentials and voting for the officials. A fraction of the conference, if you were to look at it in terms of those elements that make up a conference. The most important task of discussing policies and how to change the lives of the people of Ekurhuleni will not get enough time because this conference has been delayed. This is what Mzwandile Masina, who is the former regional task team convener, had to say about the delays.
It's going to be determined by the outcome. As we know now, the former coordinator is presenting the organizational report, I am done with the political report. Very soon the former treasurer will be presenting the treasurer's report, and then we're hoping that we will go to the 4 commissions that have been set on governance, on social transformation, economic transformation, as well as international relations. So we're hoping that those commissions will conclude. What we are anticipating that at the conclusion of those commissions, we might need then to compile a report where we'll call branches post the conference then to consolidate the report and hand it back to the structures, including our program of action.
Is this conference not going to run over till tomorrow? Are you sure that today you are wrapping up?
Well, we'll wrap up today. I'm confident that we will, whatever time. Our people will have to go back to work tomorrow, so we have to make sure that we work diligently. As we said, that the most difficult thing in the ANC is to go past this process of the credentials. Now that we are done, battle lines have been drawn, and the internal democracy is going to be exercised by membership of the African National Congress, and we are certain that out of this we are going to be able to renew our organization, the African National Congress.
Siphamandla, we've just heard from Masina there, who's also contesting, but maybe just tell us what Dr. Xhakaza is saying about contesting Masina, and how much this has caused so many delays, and the two are now basically waiting for the outcome.
Indeed. Well, Dr. Xhakaza is hopeful that he will emerge victorious, as well as Mzwandile Masina on the other side is hopeful that he will be re-elected regional chairperson of the ANC in Ekurhuleni. These are the comrades that have worked together. Remember, Dr. Xhakaza is the current regional treasurer of the ANC. He has worked with Masina and TK Xhakaza, but he says he was persuaded by the branches of the ANC to accept this nomination. He says he's willing to serve, and he says it's part of a democratic process within the ANC. Contestation is allowed, and members of the ANC are exercising their constitutional and democratic right to choose their regional leaders, and he's of the view that it's time for change in the region of Ekurhuleni of the ANC. He says it's time to renew and unite the region of the ANC, Ekurhuleni. This is what he had to say. Let's take a listen.
Well, I mean, it's never, about me. It's never my choice, really. It's about the structures, who then nominate you. And of course, as a disciplined cadre of a movement, until the right time, which is today here in plenary, I have to confirm my availability. We think that today, the ANC requires us to commit to the renewal projects of our people. It requires us to, ensure that, we do give hope, to our communities so that we can reclaim the lost ground. And I think we have been, volunteering in our communities. We've been activists. We boost, background in student movement, in youth structures, and they think, we already, assume this critical responsibility. Everything it looks set. Delegates are in jovial mood, and of course we're looking forward to great results.
I think, Spy, you and all delegates there are going to need a lot of energy drinks, because it's going to be a long night. We'll definitely be checking in with you a little later on. Thank you for that comprehensive report. That's our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge.